everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to continue talking about wedding stuff. I know it's been a little bit. If you watched or remember in the first wedding video that I made, I mentioned that I had a couple more wedding related videos that I wanted to make, including a budget saving tips, like everything that I did to help save some money for our wedding. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the first two that I have on this list have to do with just the invitation, like very start of the whole process. These are two things that you can do to save money. And one is, of course, to do all electronic invitations and RSVP and that sort of thing. And this will save you so much money, because you're not just like saving money on the postage to send all these things out, and if you are going to put postage on, you know, the return RSVP card to come back to you, the postage really adds up, of course, but also the invitations themselves. Like, you can create free online, like, digital RSVP things right through a website entirely. You don't even need to like buy an invitation or send an invitation. You can literally send everything electronically through so many free wedding websites. My favorite wedding website that I found when we were doing our wedding stuff was withjoy.com. I looked at a lot of other ones, like a lot of the big popular ones that you probably have heard of before, and I did not like them. I don't know what it was. I signed up for them, I started to build the website, and I just did not like how it was formatted. And as far as what I wanted from the website, withjoy.com was, it just was I could do what I needed to do on that one. But anyway, through their website, I could send all of the invitations. I didn't even need to like buy or make anything. And so what I did was kind of like a hybrid. I wanted to still send physical invitations out, but I just had everybody RSVP online, which brings me to my next budget saving tip, is to DIY your invitations if you can and if you want to. Now, a couple of things here. One, I wouldn't recommend doing it unless it's something that interests you and you think you would have fun doing, because it is going to take you a little bit of time. And if it's not like a fun craft that you're interested in doing, I would not recommend it, because you'll probably end up spending like so much time, and like the materials are still going to cost you money, of course, to make them. So if you don't enjoy it, or you're maybe not very crafty, I mean, I think anybody could, is capable of being crafty and would be able to make them. But if you're really picky and you really want them to be perfect or something, you may end up wasting more materials just trying to like make them yourself than if you just had somebody else make them. And overall, if it's going to be a stressful thing, it's probably worth just spending the money to do it. But if you're looking for a fun thing to do, then it can definitely be a budget saving option to make your own invitations. But I would say if you really, really want to just like save on invitations entirely, go with the all electronic system. Sure, you probably will have to get some like email addresses from people and stuff, but you'd have to get physical addresses for them, like mailing addresses, either way. So, and the other thing with the making your own invitations, I already had a bunch of stuff that allowed me to do that more easily. I have a Cricut, I have a bunch of design software, like all of that stuff. But if you don't, like, obviously it's not going to be a cheaper budget saving option for you to like go spend $400 to buy a Cricut just to make your own invitations, if that makes sense. The next thing I have on my list is to skip wedding party proposal boxes. And if you don't know what I mean by that, or maybe you do and you've just never heard it called what I just called it, it's just those like really cute Pinteresty, those boxes that you give to your bridal party, your groom's party, whomever, when you are asking them to be a part of your wedding party. And the thing with these proposal boxes is they are like really cute and stuff, but I just feel like it's one of those things where you kind of get wrapped up in like the trend and the excitement of it, but they're not really a normal thing. And I'm not saying that traditions are something that you know, matter or anything like that, but it certainly is not something that is traditional. It's just kind of like this trend that I think got really popular on like Pinterest and stuff, and then everybody wanted to do it. But I don't think that it's an expectation at all. I don't think that people in your bridal party are going to say no because you didn't give them one of these, like, at the end of the day, kind of wasteful boxes. Something that comes to mind a lot when I think of them is I see them on like Etsy a lot, and like I said, Pinterest, and it's like a very customized box for the person, which is really sweet, but it's all stuff that you're like never gonna use again. Like, no one's going to continue to use a water bottle that says bridesmaid. Like, you're a bridesmaid for that one event and then you just have that bottle forever. So I would say if you are going to do them, also in the name of sustainability, which we love to talk about, make it actually useful and like repurpose what you already have. So I did 3 proposal boxes, and I just put in things that like I knew my bridesmaids would like. I did like a bottle of wine, like a beeswax candle, just things like that, things that were very low impact. I reused like these pretty floral boxes that I already had at home, so I really did not spend a lot of money, and it was an actually useful proposal box. Now let's talk a little bit more about DIY, because of course the more you DIY, generally speaking, the more you're going to save. We DIY'd a lot for our wedding, but ultimately we had a lot of time to do all of that stuff. Our engagement was 2 years, so that means that I had a whole time to be working on these DIY projects, and ultimately, like, DIYing is not going to be for everybody, and DIYing everything is also certainly not going to be for everybody. So one thing that I did talk about a little bit in the last video was DIYing the food, and if you can, like, truly are capable of doing it, you will save so much money. Catering is very expensive for very good reason. So if you can make it work where you don't have to spend quite as much, you will literally cut your costs probably in half. And kind of in the same area with your food, you don't necessarily need to have a wait staff. You can have a buffet style, so people just go up and get their food, and then you can have essentially what are like bus buckets, where people just go and they put their dirty utensils into those buckets. And that's, of course, if you have reusable utensils and plates and stuff like that, which we always love to see. There are, you know, other some more sustainable alternatives like bamboo and paper and stuff, so you don't have to use the plastic. But if you are going to use the reusable, you know, real plates and glassware and silverware and all of that, then you can just use bus buckets. You don't need to pay for like a full wait staff to wait and serve all of the tables. When it comes to buying your dress, there are certainly a lot of ways that you can save some money here as well. I bought my dress just like right off the rack or whatever. So it was a size that just happened to fit me, and usually when you buy it off the rack, they end up giving you a discount. So because I just bought the one that was there, I can't remember how much I ended up saving, but I ended up saving like an extra few $100s because I just bought the one that was there. They didn't have to order anything for me or anything like that. And buying secondhand is almost always going to be a cheaper option and more sustainable option than buying a new wedding dress. And there are so many secondhand, like very nice, official secondhand bridal boutiques that you can go through if you're not comfortable just like buying it from some random person. Another thing that I think you can definitely skip and save some money on are wedding favors, like little things that you leave for your guests to take home, or you put, you know, you often see one put at every spot on the table. Those are so wasteful, and there's so many like wedding planners out there, Jamie Wolfer included. She will tell you that like nobody takes those. Very, very few. I shouldn't say nobody. Like, people are taking them, but she has some statistic that she shared in one of her videos where it's some crazy thing where it's like at least half of that stuff is getting left behind. So it's super wasteful. For one, you're gonna waste money because people at the end of the day don't generally want just some like random little trinket that they're like never gonna use again. And then the last thing that I have on this list, which is not necessarily I don't know. It is related to wedding, but it's not necessarily so much of the wedding planning part. But if you are like me, you'll want to gift wedding pictures to people once you get them back from your photographer. And there are ways that you can do this that are much cheaper. So we got married at the end of October. So giving the pictures out as Christmas presents the timing just worked really well. So what I did was I thrifted all of my frames. I bought them all secondhand and saved so much money. And then I just ordered prints online, and it was so cheap. I spent probably no more than like a few dollars per picture, like gift for people, because the prints online were not that expensive when I just did it myself that way. And then thrifting the frames, I got frames for like $1 each. That is all that I have for this wedding budget saving tips. I hope that it helps you. Just maybe you can use some of these tips, or it'll like trigger some idea for you for something else that you could maybe do to cut some costs and save some money a little bit. And like I said, I do have plans for one more wedding related video, so I will see you in that one sometime in the near future.